You serious?
So there's plenty of ways to kill some time out there. Right now, you're killing some time with I, Marcus Bronzy. Now, this show is all about finding new ways to kill time. And this is a podcast. This is a bit meta, but I've been spending some time, killing some time, listening to a podcast called Tag Me In. And we'll get into the story of how we met, but I just want to say that I'm really happy that I've got the Tag Me In crew in here today. Can you just introduce yourselves, please?
Man, just not the mic.
Without being on the mic.
I know. I'm ready. Can you just tag me in?
I'm excited.
Just tag me in. Just tag me in.
Tag in.
Alright, so you got Anton here.
You got Ola here.
How you doing, Anton and Ola? How you doing? You right?
We're great.
Smooth, okay.
Ola's trying to go in with that smooth voice.
R&B.
Yeah, so you got Anton here.
You got Ola.
One half of Tag Me In podcast.
Yeah.
We've had such a great day today.
Oh, yeah.
Why am I acting like I'm American?
I have no idea.
We're British. We're a British podcast.
London. Brat.
But yeah,
You are a British podcast from London. And it's funny, I didn't meet you over the podcast format first. I met you in person and then listened to your podcast. We met at Shout Out Live, didn't we?
Well,
Yeah,
basically, we
yeah.
saw you on stage, and he was like,
Yeah.
"These guys are serious, you know." We had like a little branding, like a little T-shirt, and he was just like,
Yeah. What did you think of our show at Shout Out Live? Because we thought we crushed it. Like, we thought we smashed it.
I like the interaction where people could like vote on like different topics.
Yeah.
Biggie and Tupac, Biggie, by the way. And I like that aspect because you had the interaction.
I couldn't
Yeah.
get my Wi-Fi to work. I was a bit
Really?
upset.
Oh,
But
really?
I
I
love
was just
the
shouting it out
format.
loud.
Biggie,
Yeah.
that doesn't impact the percentages. Like,
'Cause what we
who
did-
actually won? I can't remember.
Let's explain this for the listener first, though. So we were at Shout Out Live, and then we had this bit of tech set up where everyone could log, because we're a techie show. People could log in on their phone and get involved in like a live poll. And one of the biggest questions that caused the most amount of ruckus was Biggie and Tupac because it was bouncing around. And you were just shouting out, Ola.
It kept fluctuating.
So
He doesn't like tech.
Biggie, Park, it kept fluctuating.
it did. It
on
was
the
like
meter.
52% Biggie
Yeah.
and 48%.
It was
Then it
close.
just kept switching up. And I was
Yeah.
like,
But the concept was amazing. Like, obviously, being in a podcast sort of festival, it's all about talking and literally, as podcasters, you're probably there and you're trying to entertain your crowd, your audience. But you guys came in and you brought this engagement element
Yeah.
to it, which was
Yeah.
amazing. Like, I wasn't expecting it. I
Yeah.
was thinking, what is this quiz thing? And I'm seeing like the polls go from like 40% to 50%. Everyone's getting amped. I'm trying to fight with my phone, trying to get Wi-Fi. And I just thought it was amazing. Like, you got everyone in that room up, shouting. Just everyone felt like they were just all connected.
they
Like,
had Trinity riled up. I can't remember what the topic was.
Trinity. Oh, was that your friend that you were with?
Yeah. I can't remember what you asked her something or there was a topic and then...
Would you rather have Chris Brown?
No, it was
it was that question.
one?
It was that question. It was about having Chris Brown as your sister's boyfriend.
Yeah, Chris Brown is your sister's boyfriend, or I can't remember.
Someone
Was it
else.
Rob Kardashian or someone. It
Yeah.
was someone else.
No, the women were just...
Yeah.
Why not?
It's good. It's good. And not enough about that. Anyway, great time
Yeah,
at
yeah,
Shout
yeah,
Out
yeah.
Live. I hope there's more like,
Reminiscing.
it's a little taster of our live shows to come. But I met you guys and I saw these guys sitting at the front, getting involved, had these T-shirts that said "Tag Me In" on them. So I kind of put two and two together. I was like, all right, there must be like some like podcast, and they're here to come and sort of experience the conversations that are being had about podcasts. They're here to sort of get involved and meet other podcasters. And I was like, I can't wait to listen to this wrestling podcast. That's what I was thinking in my head. In my head, I was like, I can't wait to. These guys must be WWE fanatics. I'm ready. I'm ready for this. But I'm going to turn on this podcast and I'm going to hear, if you smell
What the rock do is cooking.
Yeah. So I was on one of my daily walks and I popped this podcast on and it was absolutely nothing to do with wrestling. Absolutely nothing to do with wrestling. And I kind of did this thing that I do when I listen to new podcasts is I start jumping all over because I just like to jump to different parts of conversation. And I jumped to a part of a conversation which I can't remember which one of you was talking about being, somebody was talking about being upset about a relationship and they'd been kind of like hard done by
Anton. Yeah.
by a
Sorry.
female.
Yeah.
Is that your allergies kicking in?
Yeah.
You know it was
like
you.
Autumn time.
Yeah? Who was it? Who was it?
It was Ola.
It was
Are you
Ola.
sure it
was
was?
Ola.
Somebody being hard done by a girl and
We've
it just
both shared stories.
Yeah, but you've been hurt so much more. And you
Have I?
Yeah, man.
Oh,
Yeah.
Mm-mm.
Anyway,
Yeah.
Anyway, we're not gonna go into that.
okay. So yeah, we
We'll dig up the episode. Don't worry.
had this, bring the evidence.
Evidence.
So I had to listen to it and I was just like, it's really refreshing to hear people talking about relationships and life in a way that is, not just like that sort of insta win oh yeah, great, good times, good times. You guys actually dissect and analyze how life goes well and how life sometimes doesn't go well. But I'm sure you can describe what your show is about much better than me, though. So what is Tag Me In about?
Just us sharing our experiences in life. You probably heard it all the time, but I feel like people like to talk about the good stuff. They don't talk about the bad stuff. And because we're going through this journey of becoming like the better version of ourselves, we felt like it'd be great to share that with other people, with the audience and stuff like that. So we talk about life skills. We talk about stuff like volunteering. We talk about relationships. We talk about, would you date your ex again? Like that sort of stuff, that we sort of conversations that you
everyday
have with
sort of situations that people go through that not everyone kind of speaks about, and we just kind of bring our kind of perspective
speak about
on it.
but obviously, like, I feel it depends on your circle as well, the sort of message that you get from your circle. So if you're in a scenario like, I hate to reference it, but something like Backchat, and you have a topic about first dates, a lot of the people will be like, on a first date, I'm getting something at the end. Whereas we're trying to be like conscious, and you probably hear this all the time, but we're trying to give a different perspective on things.
Okay, so there's an area of conversations that we had in these sorts of things where you kind of want to explore just different angles of it, right?
Yeah, of course.
So I'm getting so for example, dates going well. So what is your final take on dates then? Is it a smash then or not?
No.
It's like, hell yes. So you talk about stuff like that, and finance was a thing that you spoke about recently as well. That was really engaging for me. And like, can you just give it? I suggest you as a listener goes and checks that out. But can you give us a little taste about what you kind of covered in the finance episode as well?
Yeah, so on that one, it's money management, and it's how it isn't sort of necessarily spoken about in schools and taught at schools how to manage money and save, but finances plays a big part in everyday life.
Yeah.
You need money to eat, to live, places to stay. So we just kind of talked about how it is important to sort of save money, briefly touched on investments, different sort of ways of investing money, and just managing money in general. I think it's one thing, especially in the UK, where money is like a hush-hush topic. It's something that people kind of tend to shy away from. But again, like I said, it plays a part in everyday life. So why isn't it being spoken about? Are you in debt? How do you sort of manage that? Are you saving? Where do you get the best interest rates? Just sort of the general kind of discussion around that. And we just picked at it. And
we shared like what we do in life, and like how do we navigate our money, our incomes, and also identifying what goes in, what goes out. And I guess we both have a common aim, which is to be financially free. So how are we working towards that?
Yeah. And sharing our story.
Sharing that story. And I feel like with financial education, we can put emphasis on like schools and stuff like that. But also I feel like the education needs to come from our parents, but you need to identify that not all our parents are actually financially aware. Yeah, that's the term I was looking for. I was like, but
Well, to be fair, they've not really ever had finance on a curriculum in school, as far as I know, for my generation or generations before. And I don't think there's a class where they're like, this is banking. And like, we did maths.
Yeah.
Like
trigonometry.
Like
I use it now.
Exactly.
What do you do when you put it in your bed? No, you get a bed from IKEA working out. No, is that just me?
Is that trigonometry?
No,
I was going to say. Because I'm just like, I just look at the space, I look at the bed, I go, yeah, that'll fit. I've learnt the hard way. So yeah, we were saying this just before we push record. I was like, I can't believe that we don't have a class about things like credit, things like credit cards, things like mortgages, things like I think we had one talk when I was at secondary school or high school, and that was it. That was the only conversation we had, and the guy was basically like, mortgages are bad, it's debt, don't do it. And I was like, okay, it's a lot deeper than that.
A bit more to it.
People that make businesses of having multiple mortgages, portfolios of houses, there's development, all that sort of stuff that people do. And like, you can borrow in a good way or you can borrow in a bad way, or you know what I mean? It's like you can be rich in a good way and rich in a bad way as well. So it's very, like, when I just listen to your podcast, I find it so refreshing, man. So like, what have we got? Actually, no, I don't even talk about, we'll talk about what's coming up in the future in a minute, but how do you feel as two men exploring parts of conversation where you actually tend to show your softer side? So Anton, first, like, a lot of pods that I hear with gentlemen on them, they're not as open with the bad stuff or as open with their emotional side of things and how they feel about stuff. How is it doing that in a podcast?
I don't know. Some people might say I'm wrong on this, but I feel like I'm a fairly open book. Like, what you see, I'm very transparent. I probably hold back maybe 10% of stuff, but that's because I don't want to spread it out to everyone. But I've always been this sort of person that's very vocal and very honest about how I feel. And I think that comes from a level of self-awareness, like identifying that things are not okay, and also having that level of acceptance that not everything in your life is going to be perfect, and also communicating that to others because they could help, but also you're venting or you're just helping yourself by just talking about it with someone else. I admit I try and deal with a lot of my problems by myself, but I have no problem if someone goes, "How you doing?" and I'm actually having a bad day. I have no problem explaining why and just being open about it. But I feel like maybe a lot of people in general fear vulnerability because it's like this element of being accepted in society. Like, everyone wants to be like liked or being a social being. Like, everyone's got to be like, "Oh, do you remember Anton? He's that guy. He's always buzzing." But I think you have to realize that that's not an easy way to live because you're lying to yourself.
Yeah.
And that's the key thing about vulnerability is like, when you're vulnerable and you allow yourself to be vulnerable, you're just saying that this is who I am. You're not faking it. You're just being you.
Great.
I think it was slightly different for me. So like, I don't know if either of you experienced this. Sort of growing up amongst the lads, it was being a man was that guy who was macho, only had anger and happiness as an emotion.
Yeah.
There was never like sad or upset. So it was kind of growing up with that. You can't show weakness essentially. So for me, I wasn't always vulnerable or like open to being open or opening up and kind of showing I'm weak here, I'm upset, I'm hurt, yada yada yada. But it was only sort of until recently I kind of really understood the importance of opening up and being vulnerable. Like there's nothing wrong with kind of venting and being to like one of your close friends, brother, everything's not okay, I'm not doing well, either money or women or whatever the situation is I'm going through some pain. Whereas, because I've noticed with women, they have no problem in general, for the most part, in my experience anyway, kind of opening up and kind of saying I'm upset, I'm hurt, and it's fine. But again, in society, when a man's kind of like showing emotion and shows he's upset, he's seen as weak. So for me, it was just kind of being a man and just learning that I don't need to worry about what anyone says, first of all, and that there's nothing wrong in kind of showing I'm hurt, I'm down, I'm weak, boom.
So do you still see it as being weak?
Not at all. I think that was the sort of stereotype that was kind of cast, that I kind of saw.
Because I see strength in it.
In kind of being open, yeah, definitely.
Because you can build upon it.
Precisely, yeah. And it builds character as well. Just kind of opening up. So for me, it was a long journey. Yeah.
Interesting. And you feel better for it now? Then, yeah?
A lot better, yeah.
Yeah.
What about you? Would you say that you're someone that's very open and
pull it on
allow? Yeah, of course.
I say.
Not enough.
Not enough.
I don't think I'm open enough, but I like to compartmentalize certain things. So I'm very open in certain areas and not in others. So I don't know. Is it? I feel like for me, certain areas of my life, I'm like, yeah, cool, but I'm not like this for all sharing everything on social media sort of thing.
Yeah.
So 100%. Part of that might lead on from the way that I feel is I'll have a conversation with somebody. I might be close to someone in a specific way, but they might not know about this part of my life or that part of my life. I feel like I'm like that, but I don't know whether that's being closed or whether that's just being specifically certainly open to other people because I want to be and not to others. I don't know.
Yeah, I'm kind of like that as well. And I do see what you mean, yeah.
Yeah. But in terms of being open emotionally, I think it's a thing that's come with age, like having conversations about, I'm not having a good day. Just saying that's really weird. Like people go, "Hey, how you doing? You're right." Everyone expects you to go, "Yeah, I'm good," and carry on. If you actually go, "No, I'm not," they go, "What?" Like, so yeah, I'm getting there. I'm getting there with being open, and it feels good.
Journey.
Yeah, I think it's easier to do it as I'm a bit older now, but as like a teenager, I don't think it was easy to sort of show emotion. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
From little things like you don't want to be a crybaby in the playground.
Yeah, precisely. Yeah,
you're not a man.
Right there.
Yeah.
Man up.
Yeah, man up. Exactly, man up. Man up. Phrase. So we met in the podcast event, Shout Out Live, and then I listened to your podcast and I just emailed you basically and was like, we need to meet up. And that's when I found out that you're not London based.
No, we're up in Bristol.
And how did that happen? Because you sound like Londoners.
We are from London.
From London originally.
Yeah.
I've been there for 4 years because of work.
Yeah.
For me, 2 years because of work.
Okay.
Yeah, I sold to Bristol, and they dragged us out of London and moved us to Bristol.
Yeah,
it's been alright.
You like Bristol?
Yeah, it's alright.
It's alright.
It's alright.
Just alright.
When you lived in London, like London's one of these places where it's diverse.
Anton, just bring the mic a little bit close to you. Sorry, bring it to you. Make it do the work.
Hello.
Perfect. Yeah.
That's better. With London, it's so diverse, and there's so much going on. And when you move to Bristol, which is a much smaller city, it is diverse, but there's not a kind of collective community feel. So for myself, like I feel like it's very segregated. And for that reason, like I have created this ACS group within Bristol, and I'm trying to bring people together because I identify that there is a problem there, and it'd be great if I can come up with a solution. Like I'm definitely one of these people that if I identify a problem, I need to provide a solution. I get annoyed and frustrated if people tell me problems. I sound like Gary Vee. Wow. I get annoyed if people tell me problems and they just leave it there. Like,
Yeah.
come with a solution, please.
Yeah.
Please.
Okay.
But Ola's got a
Yeah,
love for
Bristol's
Bristol.
lovely. Yeah, got the nice little city, and you got the countryside just right there as well. Whereas
Yeah.
here in London, you need to kind of go out a bit to kind of get to that countryside.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And the countryside is nice to just kind of get away, clear your mind, do a bit of walking, bit of thinking, and just be at one.
No, I
One
admit
with
that. Like,
nature.
I feel
It's
like
nice.
if I was living in London, I'd be kind of living that rat race, like running from home to work on the tube, be vexed until I get home, and then I get home like 7, 8 o'clock,
Yeah.
and then I got work again tomorrow. Like, I think, yeah, in terms of mind state, and also just general well-being, I think I'll be in a different place. So like Bristol is great for that reason, because you just got a nice healthy balance.
Yeah,
Mm.
which is really important. Really important. I think a
Yeah.
lot of people put a lot of focus on working, getting the money, which is, you need money, whatever, but you need to enjoy your life, live
Yeah.
and relax. Yeah,
Yeah, I think that's the most quality time that you can have. Like, the highest quality time is the time that you can relax and spend it doing what you want to do, whether it's like family or friends. I'm all about finding new ways to kill time, but I still like to do what I want to do at the end of the day.
Yeah.
So it's interesting to hear that, because I've not met many Londoners that are like, a lot of Londoners are like, countryside. Nah, that's boring, man.
yeah.
Like,
What is that?
I appreciate the countryside,
Yeah.
so it's interesting to find a couple of other people who.
Was
kind
you
of-
born in
you,
London?
You sent me. Yeah, I was born and
Yeah.
raised in Council Estate, so that was very close. There's a lot of people around you just by default, and yeah, I've always lived in the centre of London. But I've spent a few years out of London. When I was studying, I went to the northwest of the UK, like Preston, Manchester,
Okay.
and there's a bit more countryside there. I've always liked a bit of countryside though,
Yeah.
for quite a few reasons, but I do like to get out of. I like to be in places in London where it feels like I'm not in London, and just be still for a moment, not
Yeah.
hear cars around. It's nice. It's a
It
All
nice
the
lovely.
pollution as
It
well.
is
Oh
lovely.
my gosh, I can actually breathe when I'm in Bristol.
Can you tell the difference of the air when you come to
Yeah.
London?
Yeah.
If you go down Oxford Street and you're like, oh my gosh, like
Yeah.
all this gas,
Disgusting.
like, yeah.
Yeah.
And I think it takes that moment to take yourself out of London and that kind of pollution lifestyle. Like, I'm sounding like I'm very eco, but I'm not. But you could tell the difference just in terms of like the smell and the actual, like, what's that thing when you can't breathe? What do they call it? When you
Asthma.
can't? Yeah.
Asthma. So how racist is Bristol?
Whoa. Whoa. Ouch. How racist. I haven't faced racism in Bristol. I feel like
I had
Bristol.
once actually.
Do you get pulled over more by police in Bristol?
Not
or
at
less?
all,
Okay,
not at
cool.
all.
I had a little incident at Lidl. I remember
Really?
I told you
went to
about this.
shoplifting, Lidl.
Lidl, obviously got to save them pennies.
Yeah.
So I went in, got my bread and that.
Did you bring your own bags?
Yeah.
Okay, good.
Tutus. I'm at the at the till.
Yeah.
So I'm loading my kind of items on the conveyor belt as you
Okay.
do. Blah blah blah. Then this random guy who's wearing like a woman's hat and like half of his face was burnt.
Okay.
He comes and he just like starts putting. He takes my items off the till and is like pulling it back in my thing, and I'm like, I thought he was like bantering. I was like, oh, is this like a prank?
Yeah.
I was like, what are you doing?
Where's the camera?
Then he was like, I'm here. I was here before you, and I was like, no, you weren't. I've been waiting for 10 minutes. Even the guy at the till was like, no, this guy was here. Can you just wait? He's still doing it. I'm like, what are you doing? Then he tries to push me. Obviously, I didn't move. Been squatting and that. I'm like, yo, what you doing? Obviously, I'm not. I was like, what are you doing? So like, I pushed him back. Then he just like flips. He's like, oh, you black C words or you black B words. Come here. You're not typical taking our jobs. Blah blah blah. Why are you here? Go back to Africa. Blah blah blah. Just kept saying it. Black C, black C. Then all the black people were like, oh my god. Everyone was just looking, and I was like, I looked around. I was like, is that supposed to hurt me? Am I supposed to like be upset? Like, come on, like if you're gonna come for me, like say something. Security comes, grabs him, chucks him outside. He's giving it to security. I was like, whatever, man. Paid for my shopping, went home. Then like a random guy comes, like, oh, you're right, mate. I don't know what's wrong with some people. You didn't deserve that. Blah blah blah. But I think that's the only like real incident that I've experienced personally in Bristol.
Okay.
Really, other than that, it is fine. It is multicultural, but I wouldn't say it's not integrated. Like you said, it's not a melting pot. You've got all these other cultures, but everyone kind of sticks their own sort of thing. I've noticed.
Interesting.
Yeah, but I wouldn't say I've had a run-in with the police. Have you been?
No.
Yeah,
Not even in London though.
yeah.
Actually, once, yeah. They thought we were smoking weed, but it was actually a group in front of us. But I feel like it was a stereotype sort of thing anyway.
Yeah.
Mm.
Never forget that moment, but yeah. Yeah. But nah, Bristol's calm.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Okay, cool. So, did you meet in Bristol? How did you meet actually?
Oh my god, this story, because Ola's always gonna tell it his way. Go on,
What do you mean my way?
go on.
The only way. So it was at a meetup event. So Meetup's like a great app, meet like-minded people,
Yeah.
shared interests. So I was new to Bristol at the time. I was like, oh, let me go out and meet people.
So you actually like logged into Meetup?
Yeah,
Okay,
yeah.
cool.
That's what you do when you move to a new city. You don't
Yeah,
know
yeah.
anyone,
Got
so
to meet
you have
people,
to
got to
use
get out there. I want to get out there.
technology.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wanting to meet people. I like that. That was nice.
How to Kill an Hour, you know.
Yeah. So I'm on the app. There's this meetup group, Young and Restless.
Yeah.
They were like, yeah, New Year's Eve party, blah, blah, blah. I was like, cool, let me go out and meet some people. So I went out, saw some people, saw Anton. We didn't speak at the time, just talking to everyone, blah, blah, blah. Cool, decent night. I'm like, let me just go home. So I'm waiting at the train station, and obviously, typical day, you're not going to get trains often.
Swear it's a bus.
Oh, yeah.
It was a bus.
We took taxi though, innit?
Yeah.
Yeah. So I'm at the bus stop, cool. Then I literally just see this guy just pop out from the back of the bus, and I was like, whoa. He's like, yo, you Ola, yeah? And I was like, yeah. Man had on some woolly hat. I was like, what is going on? He's like, yo, I'm Anton, we're at the event. Cool. We started talking. Started vibes in. Now with most guys, when I have conversations, it's usually women, money, your kind of surface level, level one kind of conversations. But with Anton, it was that kind of deep conversation, like mortgages, respecting women, black community, that kind of like deep level conversation, which I don't tend to have with a lot of people. So I was like, okay, this guy's on sign. I was like, okay, all right, I see you, Anton. He's like, yeah, I'm a serious guy. And as he's saying this, he's like etching closer to me. His hand is getting closer to his waist. He's like, I'm a serious guy. And I'm like, yeah, I'm a serious guy too, Anton. That's good, isn't it? Then it was like a bit of that banter. Yeah, we're getting a taxi, and then from then on, it's just been like, more conversations, doing like madness. Did a little bungee jump. This guy's like, let's go bungee jumping. I was like, yeah, that sounds cool. He's like, it's booked. I was like, what? This guy did it front, this guy did it back. I was like, oi. So like just been having amazing conversations, building a community in Bristol, meeting people.
Starting a podcast.
Yeah, doing a podcast and just, doing bits, doing the madness, got our socks off and everything.
It's a shoes off studio in here. It's a shoes off
Good to
studio.
hear. Oh,
We
yeah.
respect
This is
it.
a very nice studio.
feels
I've
good.
got
It
to
is
put it
lovely,
out there.
yeah.
Yeah, and it's also when you get your feet to rub on the carpet as well. When you give them a little rub, it feels nice, doesn't it? So you met. So that's how you met. Anton, what motivated you to start talking about mortgages on New Year's Day?
I don't know.
2000
I was on a wave
whatever.
as well. This is the crazy thing. Like,
So you were drunk and you were just
I was
like,
drunk.
mortgages.
Yeah, I think.
Yeah, but that just says how deep it is. We were waved
Yeah.
and we're still having that deep level conversation.
But maybe that's because I can't like actually turn it off. Like my seriousness. Like sometimes, when people like take it easy, just
Yeah.
relax. Like I get told that all the time. And for me, and I realized that for me to have that conversation whilst drunk on New Year's, when I'm going into a new year, I must have been thinking about New Year's resolution because I must have been like, hey, I'm going to tell someone about my plan. Hey, mortgage this
Boom,
year,
boom,
innit?
boom.
Cool, innit? But I was trying to front it. I was like, yeah, man's a serious guy. Boom.
Yeah,
What
yeah.
you saying? Like, I feel like maybe I was intimidated, but I didn't realize it because like I was like, I'm walking up to some random black guy. He might think that I'm this like some vulnerable type of softy type of guy. I need to put on his front. Hey, what you saying? You good? Yeah, spud me, innit? Oh my gosh, he spudded me. But yeah, that's just me being me, really. Just serious all day long.
And you literally can't turn it off. You're just
I can.
all, yeah.
There's like the parallel side is me being a big kid.
Yeah.
Like I can go crazy. Like
No, we have
sometimes
bants.
we have some funny moments. We have karaoke moments in the car.
Oi.
There was one time when I first moved into my flat. I don't know what we was on. We was on nothing, just fresh air. But we pretending that we was like James Bond and we was just shooting each other. And then we was just like,
How does the thing go?
no, I remember you grabbed my vacuum cleaner and you was like, I was like, mad. I got one of them cordless ones. So this guy was just going mad. I was like, okay. So yeah, there's those moments as well. That's my downtime. That's my
Sick.
downtime. Having fun.
Yeah. So like, you lot sound like besties pretty much now. You best friends or have you got other best friends?
We call
no,
best friends, yeah?
Man serious, innit?
Hey,
You get me?
hey.
Man serious. The strap line for the podcast is what? A podcast with bromance.
Bromance,
So we got
yeah.
that bromance,
Yeah,
and
there's-
everyone can tell that.
Yeah, you
Yeah,
can
yeah.
feel it in the room.
Yeah.
So you met, New Year's. Anton, you started with mortgages straight away. You realised that you had a little bit in common.
Yeah.
And then, so how did the idea for the podcast come around? Were you just like, we should do a podcast, or was it something more deep than that?
And I think it was built on the concept and then on the conversations we were having. So again, like we would have these like amazing deep conversations, not just with Anton, with other friends and likewise. And then
the shade.
No. But then like
yours are the best though.
Yeah,
that's what I expected.
That's why you got the
Thanks,
podcast,
Marcus.
obviously. Then we were just like, why aren't we recording this? Because a lot of times we'd have conversation. I was like, why isn't Michael or John here to listen to this? He would have loved this. And then I remember, you got a great story about how you were out in Prague,
man.
that amazing holiday.
Yeah, literally to jump in though, like Ola's always had the idea of being on radio. He was like, oh, maybe we should reach out to some of the radio station in Bristol. And I was like, yeah. And then I went away to Prague for a stag do, and we had 2 rooms. There was like 8 guys in total. And you're on a stag do, so a lot of guys are very savage in their behavior. So there was like 2 floors. There was the guy with the guy, the guy that was getting married, and his brother-in-law, and then myself and another friend who's in a relationship. And downstairs was the savage guys. And you could hear them from downstairs coming up the stairs. And I'm like, oh my gosh. But before they came up, we was having like the most serious conversation about what do we look for in a partner. And it was amazing. I was like, I'm loving this, even this kind of conversation. And then I can hear the savage guys come upstairs. I'm thinking, this conversation's going to die. But it didn't. The conversation actually continued for 3 hours, alcohol flowing, everyone sharing their piece. There's one guy in the corner who's just like taking it in. He's not saying anything. He's just taking it in. And I looked at him and was like, yeah, podcast. Need to do a podcast because there's other people like you who love to hear the story, might not have too much to input, but they just want to hear it and also be kind of surrounded by that sort of like good, positive vibe. So I came back, told Ola. There was like a couple of videos on Snapchat, showed him the video. He was like, oh my days.
I was like, why wasn't I there?
And then, yeah, man, that's how we started. It took a bit of time though. It took like 6 months behind the scenes, but yeah.
I mean, I just like the bounce between you guys is really, really good. And I just like the way you flow together as well. Like it feels like you've been friends for a long time. So the conversations you have, it feels like I'm sitting in a room with somebody with a deep friendship, and I'm getting to hear stuff. And it's nice, man. It's very heartwarming.
Do you remember that time when you was 2 years old and like I pushed you over down the stairs?
I remember that time. My head.
I remember, I remember that time, man. That was jokes.
So what's the plan with Tag Me In then? Like, what do you want to do? What do you want to be like? What's the plan?
I want to take over the world. We said about going into schools and literally giving this, because like in terms of being positive role models, or even the aspect that you can achieve anything you want. You don't have to be a superstar. You don't have to be an Instagram celebrity. You still can grind and you still can get to your destination. And I feel like if we can go in and spread that sort of message and also give what we've been through, because like we're just normal people. Like you can achieve anything just by being normal. You just need to put in the work. And I feel like that message should be spread at younger ages, but also like people who can relate to us. So people who grew up in London, probably didn't come from the best of backgrounds. Like I came from a single parent household. There's nothing wrong with it because I came out to be who I am today. And it's that sort of belief. Like I didn't really grow up with any role models. And I feel like maybe if I was like 16, 17 and I listened to a podcast where the guys were talking about stuff in a different that type of light that's not entertaining, I might have been a different person, or I might have made better decisions because of the information that I collated along the way.
Yeah, and I think it's stronger for you to push your message when it's coming from that everyday kind of perspective. Because when you've got, super rich people who are in the limelight giving you a message, it's like for me growing up, I used to listen to like Pharrell and Jay-Z be like, money's and everything. I'm like, of course you're going to say that you have all the money in the world. Why am I going to listen to you? But when you've got the guy next door, like you said, the guy who's lived in the council estate with you, saying actually it really isn't, here's what I've done, then you're like, actually, it is. Yeah.
It's hard to hear that message, money isn't everything, if it's someone that's really rich or really poor.
Yeah,
because if someone's really rich, you're like, well, you got all the monies.
You've spent,
so you don't worry about it. And if someone's really, really poor, like homeless, money's everything. You're like, but because you ain't got any to know. That's the general, that's what people are like. So you're coming from that angle where you both got 9-to-5 jobs, you both got careers, and you're just having conversations about finance and how you manage your finances and positive and negative ways in which finances can affect everybody.
A live show will be amazing as well.
Yeah.
That's something that we probably hopefully towards the end of the year or next year. We're getting closer to the end of the year, but at some point, be amazing to get like all our listeners all in one room, come in and get that engagement. Maybe do a little like quiz sort of thing that you guys did. That'd be awesome. Yeah, try and bring that tech.
Biggie or Tupac.
I mean, yeah, that sort of thing.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah. Okay.
Would you date your ex? Yes or no? Oh my gosh! Oh, why would you say that? 10 seconds. Yeah, but also like the form of like maybe networking.
Yeah.
Maybe bringing those people who listen to us into a room together where there's people who are further along the line than we are, and there's people who haven't even started, but just everyone in one room would be amazing.
Yeah,
that would be phenomenal. Like,
sharing stories.
Yeah.
Contacts. Yeah.
Oh man.
Okay.
I'm getting gassed.
What's been the hardest thing so far that you've had to negotiate in the podcast?
Oh man. Just sank into the chair. Consistency. Social media. Like when you start a podcast, you think it's gonna be, you just put out the material, that's it. But there's so much more to it, and we overlooked it.
Yeah, I think I just thought, we'll just record, upload it, but then it's like the social media is just constant, it's non-stop. And then everything around it, so like videos, finding topics, how to really add value, collaborations. There's a lot that goes into it that you don't really think.
Oh yeah.
Getting the right equipment.
Oh yeah.
It's
We're
just
still learning that one. Yeah.
Yeah.
Getting that carpet that feels good under your socks.
We found the right one here. And it's just kind of bringing all that together.
Yeah,
and again, just being consistent with it. Just keep going.
Yeah.
How consistent is your show? How regular is your show?
We're
When can we expect
weekly.
it?
Weekly.
Yeah.
We're struggling with YouTube. Like we tried to do that every single Monday, but upload's been a bit of a hassle.
Okay.
Internet's been dropping out. Yeah, it's been annoying.
Okay, so you get the audio every
Sunday.
Sunday's the audio,
consistently every Sunday,
and
is
maybe
out.
YouTube on Monday.
Yeah.
Okay, fair enough.
Yeah.
It's all right.
So like there has been some difficulties. So just the workload. We didn't really anticipate how much work will go into it. Like we thought, we can do it on the side, but we never realized that it's going to be a day-to-day thing. And there's no problem with it because the amount of engagement and the kind of positive responses that we get from people, it's just amazing.
Yeah.
Like to know that we've had impact on someone's life that we haven't even met face to face.
Yeah.
It's just
I mean,
amazing
that's
to
the
take away.
biggest
Like, it
part
makes
when
me
you
feel
when
warm.
when you get people sort of emailing you saying how you've sort of made a difference or how they want to be on the show because they're really connected with what you said. That touches my heart. It's beautiful.
Okay.
Do you want a tissue? No tissue, no issue.
Okay.
So I think you should have some guests on in the future. What sort of people are you thinking to bring on your show in the future?
There's a guy called Marcus. I think he's alright, isn't it?
Yeah.
No.
You're not sure? I think we need to speak to him first, innit?
I think he's a wrong one.
Why is that? I've heard a couple
He
of
said
things.
Biggie instead of Tupac. A lot of people didn't like that.
Disrespectful, man.
Yeah.
Man.
Gary V.
Oh no. He would take the zen out of your shot. Yeah, I'm not the biggest Gary Vee fan. I'm gonna be honest. People think you're a hater if you say that. You know, if you're not a fan of somebody. But I'm genuinely He doesn't. Nah. I'm a motivated guy, and I listen to Gary Vee going, "You need to grind." I'm like, no, bruv.
You need to work hard.
Yeah, I'm the sort of person that don't like to be shouted at. When I go to the gym, I go by myself. Yeah, and I do push myself. I've seen marked improvements. Yeah, I've gone from 0 pull-ups to 10 pull-ups. Yeah,
whoa.
There you go. In a row. Yeah, that's my
No breaks.
I can do that. Yeah, so I can lift. Yeah. So I see my gains. But I went gym with my best friend once, KJ, and he was like, all right, cool, we're going to do some bench now. I was like, cool, this is my bench. Like, I'm going to put a bit of extra weight on. This is where I push myself a little bit. And I took the bar off the bench. And whose bar? My bar. That's what you say when you're in the gym, you're going to lift, yeah, after slapping your chest a couple of times. And I went to lift, and I pushed up, and I just heard 1. I was like, usually I say that in my head, but I heard that out loud. I brought the bar down, I went 2. I was like, fuck, 3. And I realised my boy was counting for me, which is good. Like, that motivates
motivation.
him. I hate that, bro.
Really?
No, don't. I can count. That's the easy bit.
That's
like easy.
Count.
Come on, one more. I'm motivated, bro.
I'm motivated.
Yeah, I've got this. Yeah. Okay. If I need help, I'll let you know. Yeah. Yeah. And maybe on the last one. Yeah. Come on, you motherfucker. Yeah. You got this. You got this. You got like. Then I'll take it. But like 1, 2. No. So I don't like people to shout at me. I don't know if that's childish or that's just how I am. But
everyone's
I like to think I'm motivated.
Yeah.
I think I'm more of a Tim Ferriss kind of when it comes to being successful. I want to go for that 4-hour work week. I want to go for that sort of maximize production, but with minimum input.
Yeah.
Because why not? Like, why not? I'd love to be somebody who works 1 day a month and spends the rest of my time with my family, enjoying myself,
that
reading.
With you on that.
Yeah. I'd love an unbalance where, I had so much spare time that I'm looking to do more work.
Have you seen his TV series?
Gary V's?
No.
Tim Ferriss. The Tim Ferriss experiment.
Yeah,
I've
like
not
he
watched-
learns
I've
how
not-
to swim in like a week, and it's like, wow,
Right.
man's been doing lessons for about like 5 months. Like, I want to
Yeah.
know his secret. Like, yeah,
He's white. That helps him with swimming.
He can
That's,
float, he can
that's
float.
what helps. Yeah. High
They
body
told me
fat-
I was kind of muscular. They were
high-
like, the reason
yeah.
you can't swim is because you got
Yeah,
muscle. I was
yeah,
like,
yeah,
yeah.
yeah.
They were lying
Yeah.
to me though. You know, my arm was on the side, so it looked kind of puffed out.
So yeah, Tim Ferriss. I'm kind of in that kind of zone. That's how I feel at the moment, man. I just feel like his approach is like almost opposite to Gary Vee. It's like Gary Vee's like wake up, grind, and Tim's like do the work, automate it, and let it kind of do its own
Yeah.
thing. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Which is interesting
But I
because
think it's different stages. Like
Yeah.
Gary Vee might be the perfect person for you if you're starting up.
Yeah,
Yeah.
That
like saying in the
execution
beginning.
part.
unmotivated. If you're unmotivated and you're on the couch all day playing FIFA. Sorry, you were saying, Antonio, if you're starting up, yeah.
No, go on.
Yeah.
You can, I'll tag you in. Go on.
gee,
Go on.
it's
You can-
tag in, yeah?
yeah,
Oh,
yeah.
I like it. Get me on the show. So yeah, if you're not motivated, if you're on the couch all day, or you might be in between jobs, you might be feeling a bit down because you don't know when the next job's coming. You might have that lull. You might not want to get up. And I know if I'm feeling a little bit down, I'm not as motivated. I'm not up as early. I just feel that natural tiredness. Maybe you need someone like that to be like, come on, man, get out there,
Get on
kick
it,
ass.
Yeah, I think Tim Ferriss kicks in when you've consistently you've got your business or whatever your lifestyle is to a certain place, and then you start thinking about how can I actually balance this lifestyle out? How can I make time for friends and family?
Yeah.
And I feel like it's all dependent on the person, but the best guest that I feel like we could have on the show right now, Anthony Joshua.
Yeah.
That's my guy right now.
Really?
Yeah. He's got an amazing story, but just to be present in his room, like in the room with him and have him recording and say, "Yo, Anthony, my name's Anton. look, like, no, did I do it bang? No, all right, cool.
No, but I'm with you. He's a very humble guy, isn't he?
Yeah,
He's
I
a
just
very
I
humble
like
guy.
his-
I'd be humble if I was that big and had those two weapons
Yeah,
and know
yeah.
that you could probably kill anyone.
Yeah, precisely, yeah.
Why would you
Load
be
them
anything
up.
other than humble?
I'm happy. Yeah, calm. Yeah.
Like, imagine he couldn't even really dance in a club and get excited. If he went to like a house rave and started doing what Terry Crews does in White Chicks, somebody could actually die. Somebody could
Why are
actually
there 9
die.
people on the floor next to
Yeah,
you?
I don't know. He just did the YMCA and 5 people are on the floor with concussion. Do you know what I mean?
Temper T comes
Yeah.
on. Next
Oi.
hype. Start
Yeah,
skanking.
you
Oh
can't
my
play
days.
POW. You
No.
can't play
Oh,
Lethal V
no,
POW when
no,
Anthony
no.
Joshua's in the room.
You
Maybe-
actually see
maybe
the
for-
words in the room. You'd be like,
Yeah.
pow!
Maybe for his
Yeah.
next fight, yeah.
Oh man, but yeah, he's just
It's his
beast,
mindset,
though, isn't it? Yeah,
I love
but
his
he's-
mindset
Yeah,
and the way that he carries himself is
Yeah.
like, in terms of role models, it's one person I look up to, especially the way that he carries himself and conducts himself. Like, even when he won like his belt, he was just like, yes, I'm a champion, but that doesn't mean I stop there.
Yeah.
And that's so powerful. Like,
Yeah.
a lot of people be like, I made it. And that's
Yeah.
it. They just ride on that.
I want to see a few more fights from him. I want to see a few more big
Yeah.
titles because Klitschko was an old. I don't want to say in a boxing podcast, but Klitschko is a little bit of an older guy. He was a challenge, great boxer.
Yeah.
But I think I'm ready to see Joshua going for a real challenge.
And I think he
Someone
knows
needs
that
to
as
see
well.
I need to see
Yeah.
a big challenge.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think he knows that as well, and that's
Yeah.
why he speaks in that sort of
Yeah.
way, because he's not like, I'm not there yet.
Yeah.
And he
Early
knows
doors
that. He
for him.
knows his target, and he's
Yeah.
going towards that.
Yeah, he needs to cement himself in that Hall of Fame.
But I think
you know
even
what I mean?
even if he became that image in the Hall of Fame, like, he's still going to continue.
Yeah.
Maybe I'm just buying into him too
maybe.
much.
No, I see what you mean. I think he's got
Maybe.
a fight next month, isn't it, in Cardiff? Some point.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm gonna ask your opinion on this actually. With Floyd and Conor McGregor, that kind of weird fight that happened, which really kind of shouldn't have. In a way, I'm like happy that Floyd's got his 50-0, but it's a bit of like a bum fight to get your 50 though, isn't it?
Yeah.
Is it a bit of? It is because you fought somebody who's never fought a professional
that's the
boxing match
thing,
again
yeah.
for your last. That's like kind of like Usain Bolt, yeah, doing his last race against me.
Yeah.
I've never run before, or
The
against Mo Farah,
anticlimax.
or against
Yeah.
Mo Farah,
Yeah.
Mo
Yeah.
Farah, yeah. And they do do you know what I mean? It's a bit like,
I know what you mean. I think the hype was more entertainment than the actual fight.
yeah,
The build up to it was a lot more entertaining than the actual fight.
yeah.
And it was like, I kind of knew Gregor wouldn't
It
win.
wasn't a boxing
But it
match.
was just fun.
It was
Yeah.
all entertainment, and that's
Yeah.
the whole thing. Like, it was sold as a boxing match.
yeah.
And if you stayed up till 5 o'clock in the morning, I actually woke up at 5 o'clock. Like, I was like, oh, because it got delayed.
it did indeed.
I watched
indeed.
it, and I was just like, I would have been so disappointed if I flied out to Vegas to watch it, pay money, or the fact that I actually stayed up all night just to watch that match.
Yeah.
Because it was just all entertainment. Like, obviously Mayweather isn't a boxer, so the way that he was punching Floyd like behind the head and everything like that, I was just like, man,
Yeah, it was bad boxing.
Yeah,
it's
yeah.
just
Bad
terrible,
boxing. Bad
absolutely
boxing.
terrible.
But how much money was made on that?
There was no money made, but in terms of claiming that record, like 50-0,
It's a bit of a weird. It's a
yeah.
bit of a weird one to go into the history books as your final fight against like
Yeah.
literally someone's first pro boxing fight. It's like a weird way to win.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? I was just waiting though during the fight. I was actually waiting for this though. I was waiting for Stone Cold during the fight.
Oh my gosh, it's Stone Cold! Oh my gosh!
Ring the goddamn bell!
Ding ding
That's
ding.
what I was waiting for during the fight, and I just felt like it kind of got a bit.
Gimmicky.
I just found like I was like Floyd, man. I'd like you to get your 50-0 with like
Do you
a
reckon he's
reasonable
sitting
fight.
at home going, boy, man, I shouldn't have done that?
Mate, nah. I think
don't
he's
think he
looking at his
cares. I
money.
think,
and-
I think,
and
yeah. He's
To be
just,
fair, and it's hard for him to get a target when he's battered everybody in the world as well.
Yeah.
So anyway, this sounds killing now. So I'd like to find out how you guys kill some time. So before we wrap this up, how do you like to kill some time, Ola?
is this just at the weekend, sort of?
Well, how do you
Ooh.
like to kill time? Like when you're, because you asked me a really interesting question. Anton was like, "What's your passion?" Before we started, and I was like, "Oh, this is." He's like, "Nah, what's your actual passion?"
Yeah.
So what do you actually like to do when you're not doing this or tag meme when you're not at work? What do you like to do to chill
Oi.
or not chill?
I'm a movie fanatic. I
Yeah.
think. Yeah. I do enjoy like sitting down, just watching movies. It
All
could
right.
be from like the 60s, 70s, something that's come out last week, action, not really romance, but yeah, I like a good bit of action, especially like sort of drug sort of related movies, so like American Gangster, Blow.
Yeah.
Ooh.
Okay.
Oh man, I love a good sort of story in a film. I'm just like, yes,
Okay.
yes, this is building up.
So would you recommend one of those for the listener, or is there something else? If you could recommend one right now for listeners, say, listen, check this out.
American Gangster is a classic for me.
Yeah,
An absolute
it is,
classic.
it is.
I
Just-
thought you were going to say Toy Story.
nah, that's second on my list.
That is also another drug story.
It is, yeah. Woody's really, yeah. And like just watching guys like Denzel, I'm just like, oh, legends, man. Just some of these movies.
Absolute
Training Day, absolute amazing movie.
absolute legend.
I happily like watch that movie over and over again.
Yeah.
I watched Nutty Professor.
Ooh,
Taking
Nutty
it
Professor, classic.
When was that
Men
made?
in Black.
Murphy.
Was that 1995?
That was like, might have been 98,
Yeah.
I think. Yeah.
no,
Men,
Professor, yeah.
Men in Black.
Could have been earlier actually.
yeah. Men in Black. Watch that one again. Again, that's probably 97, 98.
Classic.
Absolute amazing movie. What else? Lord of the Rings. I love the entire trilogy. I can spend an
couldn't
entire
get
day.
into it.
Nah,
I
that
tried
for
watching
me.
it yesterday, fell asleep.
Really?
So you Game of Thrones fans then?
No,
I haven't started. It's just
I haven't even touched it.
by the time
Wow.
I found out about it, we were like 5 or 6 seasons in, and everyone's like, "It's amazing." I'm like, "There's like 7 seasons. Each
Just
one's
have a
like an
catch up.
hour plus." I'm like, "I ain't got. I want to get into it, but I just don't have time."
Anybody got time for that?
I've got time. I watched Power.
Power, okay.
Power's good. I like Power. Power's good. That one's really good.
Power's now kind of a like totally outshone Empire, hasn't it? Like Empire, for
Yeah.
like what?
I watched
Who?
one episode of Empire. I'm like, this is a music. No,
Yeah,
no.
Power.
Power's my one.
All right.
Yeah,
So movies, so
love movies.
and
Yeah,
TV, Power, and drug films.
yeah.
Okay.
Well, no, let's just say movies. Movies.
Anton,
Yeah. How do I kill time? The thing is, I struggle to identify when I actually have free time. Like I'm constantly working, so if it's tagging me in, it's either like one of my side ventures or anything like that. But if I do have time, it's probably me sitting in front of the TV and watching either football or watching a movie. I just watch any type of movie, to be honest. Like whatever is the latest film out there, I'm watching it
okay.
because I'm just trying to kill time.
What's the last one you watched?
The last film I watched, what new film?
Yeah,
Oh my, I can't recall. I probably like crammed so many in one day. I'm trying to think Transformers, the latest Transformers.
oh yeah.
The last night.
Last Night, I saw that. What do you
I
think?
was a big Transformers fan, so this is a little bit of a story. So when I was in uni, we're getting comfortable. I saw you
I'm
take
like,
a seat back.
yeah.
When I was in uni, first year, I remember I went out on like for like a student kind of rave sort of thing, and my friends called me up. They're like, "Oh, we're gonna watch Transformers." Believe it or not, I ran from the rave all the way back to halls, got there at the start, and I knew the words from the start. It was like, "Before time there was a cube." They looked at me, they're like, "Yo, you're mad." I used to love Transformers, and
Sick.
over time, they just killed it.
Yeah, I think they've done that with Fast and Furious.
No, Fast and Furious is a banging film. Nah, sorry.
The Rock brought it back.
Anyway,
but-
sorry.
No, The Rock brought it
Pardon?
back.
What?
The Rock
Is this
brought it
microphone
back. Mine's on. The Rock brought it back. But like, like I think the third and fourth one, I
Tokyo
was like,
Drift.
mm,
Yeah.
they need to just spin. That needs
Yeah,
to not
yeah,
really
yeah,
happen.
yeah,
innit? We
yeah.
need to ignore Tokyo Drift.
Yeah.
mm.
But
Yeah.
also like, because I'm from like a technology background, I'm always like reading, and I can spend a lot of time on Google, just Googling anything and everything. So like, in terms of like, one of my favorite websites right now is Alltop, and it literally registers like maybe 6 or 7 different websites, and it gives the top articles from each one. So like, in terms of like, you say TechCrunch, it will say the top 5 articles within TechCrunch during that period of time. And I'll literally just click it and I'll be like, oh my gosh, this is what's happening. I like to try and keep myself current and up to date.
All top. I'll try that out.
.com. Yeah,
I'll
I
try
like that
out.
site.
Nice.
Every morning I wake up, I'm checking like App Store. I'm seeing what's the latest apps out there, what's trending. I also look into Google Trends as well. I think I like to try and keep up with trends in terms of technology. But I think it's also just me trying to identify where's the next big social platform going to be, especially from like Tag Me In perspective, but also from a business perspective, because it's like the form of marketing. And yeah, in terms of investment as well, because like we did our episode on financial education, we both trade into the stock market. So it's like, oh, what's the next
Bitcoin.
Big company.
Bitcoin is crazy. I was actually watching a film about Bitcoin
Expensive,
yesterday. Yeah.
Send me a link.
That's it. Yeah. Cool. And I was just like, oh my gosh, should I? Because I bought some Bitcoins probably like 6 months ago. I made a bit of money, but to fully understand it, I need to go into like further depth. There's actually a good website called Crypto Market, I believe it's called. That might be Crypto Minded. And it's like a website that really breaks it down into the different sort of currencies. And it's like really easy to digest. It's an awesome website. They also have like a Slack channel as well. So you can actually like read what people are saying and writing. And it's like, okay. So like, I'm slowly getting into it.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Very interesting.
Yeah.
Bit millionaire. Yeah.
Billionaires, man.
So, like, you must have a job in tech, right?
Yeah. So
You sound techie. Like, that's very hard to get an hour.
I'm a cybersecurity engineer.
Where's the keyboard? Keyboard warriors.
I need more Q keys. I ran out of Qs.
I'm the guy that's running the Twitter fingers. But yeah, cybersecurity is my background. I did a computer science degree for 4 years. I got into cybersecurity because I did the London 2012 Olympics. So that was like my first step into it, and it was a big project. It was like, all right, this is amazing. And also like, cybersecurity is always going to be this thing that's always going to be in demand, because there's always going to be hackers out there. And I thought, yeah, that'd be a great place to go. And I was kind of at the time very interested in the salary, and that's what got my appeal. But over time, I realized that money's not everything, and it's taken me to the age of 26 to go, oh my gosh, do I really enjoy this? Like, there's part of me that does, but there's I guess it's just the office politics and stuff like that. But I feel like I need time out from it, and then maybe I'll go back into it.
Okay.
But yeah, it's fun. It's demanding. It's a demanding job. You always learn.
Hello?
Nice. Work. So work in finance currently. My degree actually was in biomedical science.
Okay. We need more science.
Yeah. Where the scientists
Oh,
at?
is that why you're into like gangster sort of type of films and like drug films?
Because he understands.
Man's giving us Breaking Bad, innit?
He's like, oh,
Breaking Bad.
No,
All
what
right,
they mean,
cool.
they need more
Mum,
hydrochloride.
Hey.
4 grams of that.
Yeah.
Mix it up. That's it. No, whip it.
Okay, whip it.
Well,
Okay, yeah, no whip, not stir, whip.
Whipping excursion.
No, so I did that at university, but I noticed like in the last year, I was always kind of just on finance. So like looking at finance articles, reading, looking at documentaries, finance movies, Wolf of Wall Street kind of stuff. Then kind of put a bit in myself, and I was like, ooh, so okay, you put a bit in, it goes up, goes down, goes up, takes a bit of time. I was like, ooh. Then after that, I was like, no, finance. And then after that, I just got into sort of the world of finance.
Okay.
So yeah, sort of currently working in finance. I was like, okay, I want to kind of be involved in like the whole sort of stock market. So are you guys familiar with ASOS?
Yeah.
So ASOS is like a perfect example. They kind of launched on the stock market in 2000, 2001. At that time, they were like literally 50p. But obviously, no one really knew about it. They were like, no one cares, blah, blah, blah. Fast forward to about 2013. Each one of those shares that were like 50p were now worth about £70. So imagine buying 100 of those, and imagine kind of the money you'd sort of make. Absolutely mad. Even sort of my company, they were trading at like 20p. And then now they're like £15. But
So
I just basically I was just at work one day and I'm like, why does the receptionist have a Porsche? Like, no lie.
Oh, wow.
I'm like, I know you don't make more than me. I ain't got a Porsche. What's going on there? I was talking to people and they were like, yeah, well, like 4 years ago, like half the company literally quit because they were literally all millionaires. Like literally all millionaires because it's just the way it is. Obviously,
Wow.
these are like good case scenarios. Doesn't always happen like that.
You can go the other way, right?
Yeah, precisely. Yeah, you could
Okay.
put a lot in and kind of lose. But imagine being in a situation where you've put a bit of money and you've forgotten about it. 5, 10, 15 years later, you've come back and like you've got a couple $100,000 and it's passive income. And the entire concept of it is just like, it is a nice concept. And it's
crazy.
just, and for me,
Yeah.
it's also just following the companies in general. So like looking at companies, all right, this company does this, that one does that. This one does it a bit better, but this one is very unique. It's got its own niche, and just following them, watching how they grow, watching how they kind of develop. I'm just like, yeah,
Okay.
Mm.
yeah,
And you
I
guys
love it.
use this information and to both trade. You both trade on the stock market.
yeah.
Wow. I'd love to hear more about that. In fact, I want more podcast information. I want a podcast about this. Yeah, I want just about this.
Should we make it
just
happen?
about it.
Yeah,
I
it's
reckon
got
you should.
demands.
I think you should. Yeah. Put it on
What
the
I
list of
want-
things to tag me in. Yeah.
I'll be the negotiator. What he says he wants, he wants a episode on finance.
We
and
need more
also-
finance episodes. Load of But you've given me loads of time today. I know you've got some other stuff to do today, so I won't keep you any longer. Thank you very much. Can you just let us know where we can listen to Tag Me In, how we can get our eyes and ears around everything that you do? How's that?
Eyes and ears, Twitter, Instagram, YouTube. We're even on Gumtree, Pinterest,
Oh gosh.
Facebook. Yeah, I know.
You're on Gumtree.
This was this was like beginning stages. We put a little ad up. We actually got a response, you know.
Yay.
Some guy was like, "Oh, why are you on Gumtree?" I'm like, "Oh, we're a podcast, blah blah blah." Oh, okay. Then he just disappeared. Yeah, he literally just disappeared. But yeah, that was
Okay.
that was beginning stages. But yeah, we are online. If you do want to email us, it's info@tagmein podcast.co.uk. And yeah, just kind of reach out to us. We interact on Twitter, Instagram. Yeah, just kind of listen to our podcast. We're on SoundCloud, Stitcher. We are everywhere, and nowhere.
Good.
Yeah, go out and listen to us. Yeah.
Awesome. Well, thank you very
Brilliant.
much for coming on How to Kill Her Now. There's plenty of ways to kill some time out there. I've been Marcus Bronzy. You guys have been.
Anton.
And Ola, Tag Me In podcast.
That's right.
We got to tag you out, mate.
Okay.
Can you reach?
There you go. Yeah, just self high five. Thank you for killing some time with us.
No.
Brilliant. Cheers.